The United States Senate has plunged into unprecedented turmoil. In a stunning break with history, 18 Republican senators joined all 51 Democrats in to advance articles of impeachment against Donald Trump. Never before has a sitting president faced impeachment proceedings initiated and led by members of his own party while still in office. This was not symbolic dissent or political theater. It marked a fundamental collapse of partisan loyalty, driven by evidence that senators from both parties describe as overwhelming. What triggered this moment was a classified intelligence briefing so severe that even lawmakers who had previously defended Trump without hesitation are now calling for his removal. When senior Republican leaders, including the Senate Majority Whip, publicly co-sponsored impeachment articles alongside Democrats, it became clear that the political foundation supporting the president had fractured beyond repair. According to multiple senators present at a classified briefing held on January 20th, intelligence officials presented evidence alleging that Trump personally authorized the sharing of highly classified signals intelligence with a foreign adversary in exchange for personal business concessions. Senators described the conduct as an unmistakable betrayal of the presidential oath. Sources familiar with the briefing say the evidence included intercepted communications, financial records tracked by federal investigators, and testimony from national security officials who witnessed the alleged exchanges firsthand. This is not an impeachment rooted in partisan disagreement or policy disputes. Constitutional scholars have called it the most serious threat to a sitting presidency since Watergate. What makes it extraordinary is that Republican senators, who previously voted to acquit Trump during earlier impeachment trials, are now leading the charge to remove him. That reversal alone signals the gravity of what they say they were shown. The investigation began quietly in early January when the Senate Intelligence Committee started examining unauthorized disclosures of classified information. But the situation exploded on January 20th, when the full Senate received a mandatory classified briefing inside a secure facility. Intelligence leaders reportedly described the situation as posing a grave and immediate threat to national security stemming directly from executive branch actions. The 4-hour briefing was conducted by senior intelligence officials and left senators visibly shaken. According to those who spoke afterward, intelligence agencies detailed a 6-month pattern in which Trump allegedly shared sensitive signals intelligence concerning U.S. military capabilities in the South China Sea. In return, he allegedly received approval for Trump Organization development projects abroad, valued at roughly $2 billion. The evidence presented reportedly included decrypted communications between Trump and foreign officials, financial transfers traced by Treasury Department investigators, and sworn testimony from 4 national security officials who filed protected whistleblower disclosures. Senators say the intelligence was detailed, specific, and corroborated across multiple sources. What makes the allegations especially explosive is the nature of the intelligence allegedly disclosed. Lawmakers briefed on the material say it compromised ongoing military operations, exposed intelligence collection methods developed over decades, and placed human intelligence sources in immediate danger. This was not vague information or routine diplomatic discussion. Senators say it involved precise operational details. Within 2 hours of the briefing's conclusion, Republican Senator Mitt Romney convened an emergency meeting of what he called concerned Republicans in a secure room. 17 Republican senators attended, including members of leadership and key committee chairs. According to staffers nearby, the meeting was intense, emotional, and historic in scope. Sources familiar with the meeting say Romney opened with blunt words, stating that the evidence showed a president who had betrayed his oath for personal profit. He reportedly warned that failure to act would make the Senate complicit and that history would judge their response within days, not years. The tone of the meeting shifted dramatically when longtime Trump defender Lindsey Graham spoke. According to those present, Graham acknowledged that while he had defended the president through past controversies, what senators saw in the briefing went beyond politics or policy disagreements. He reportedly called the conduct treason by any reasonable definition, a statement that stunned the room and signaled a turning point. Senator Marco Rubio, who had access to even more detailed intelligence through his committee role, reinforced the case. According to participants, Rubio said the evidence was irrefutable, citing intercepts, financial records, and witnesses willing to testify under oath. He reportedly warned that failing to impeach would effectively declare that no action by a president could ever cross a constitutional line. By that evening, the Republican group had drafted articles of impeachment, an extraordinary move, as impeachment typically originates in the House. Romney later explained that decision publicly, arguing that the House majority had shown it would not hold the president accountable, leaving the Senate with a constitutional obligation to act based on direct knowledge of high crimes. The articles of impeachment, released early January 21st, contain two charges. The first alleges betrayal of national security for personal gain, accusing Trump of knowingly disclosing classified intelligence regarding U.S. military capabilities to a foreign power in exchange for business benefits tied to Trump Organization projects. The second charge alleges obstruction of congressional oversight, asserting that Trump directed officials to withhold information and instructed witnesses to ignore subpoenas. While much of the supporting evidence remains classified, the public portions of the articles cite declassified intelligence excerpts. One passage describes an August 2024 meeting in which intercepted communications allegedly show Trump revealing top-secret intelligence collection capabilities in exchange for foreign approval of a Trump Organization development project. Another section details financial transfers, noting that days after the alleged disclosure, hundreds of millions of dollars were wired from foreign-controlled entities to accounts associated with Trump business ventures. Treasury investigators reportedly concluded these transfers constituted quid pro quo payments. The political impact was immediate and seismic. Republican senators drafting impeachment articles against a Republican president using classified intelligence, complete with dates, dollar amounts, and descriptions of the materials allegedly shared, fundamentally altered the political landscape. This impeachment differs sharply from Trump's previous two. In the first, Senate Republicans dismissed the charges as partisan. Only one Republican voted to convict. In the second, following January 6th, 7 Republicans joined Democrats, but party loyalty still held. This time, the impeachment is Republican-led, grounded in intelligence evidence rather than disputed testimony, and already supported by enough senators to make conviction a real possibility. According to lawmakers familiar with the briefing, 3 pieces of evidence proved decisive. First were intercepted communications presented by the NSA, including decrypted phone calls and encrypted messages in which Trump allegedly acknowledged sharing classified information and explicitly linked it to desired business approvals. Senators say Trump used specific code words tied to classified programs, indicating full awareness of the material's sensitivity. Second were financial records. Treasury investigators traced approximately $2.3 billion in transfers from foreign entities to Trump-linked accounts over 6 months. Senators say the pattern was unmistakable: classified disclosure followed by major financial transfers, repeated across multiple instances. The third element involved whistleblower testimony. 4 national security officials, including military officers and intelligence analysts, filed protected disclosures describing instances where Trump discussed or shared classified information in ways they believed were tied to personal business interests. Portions of one whistleblower report describe a meeting where Trump allegedly said he would share satellite capabilities information if a foreign government approved a specific development project. Beyond Trump himself, senators stress that the case represents a broader constitutional crisis. If a president can trade classified intelligence for personal profit and escape accountability due to partisan protection, the system of checks and balances effectively collapses. Such a precedent would signal to future presidents that classified information can be monetized as long as party loyalty holds. Trump now faces an almost impossible political and legal position. Denying the disclosure's conflicts with intelligence intercepts, senators say, are explicit. Claiming policy justification clashes with financial records showing personal benefit. Invoking declassification authority does not address the allegation of personal profit, which violates the presidential oath regardless of classification status. Legal experts say no defense reconciles all 3 lines of evidence. Prominent constitutional scholars have described the situation as the gravest crisis since Watergate. Former intelligence officials have warned that the alleged conduct would normally be prosecuted under espionage statutes if committed by anyone outside the presidency. The Senate now stands largely paralyzed. Legislative business has stalled as impeachment proceedings dominate. Cabinet officials, military commanders, and foreign allies all face uncertainty as the authority of the presidency weakens before any final vote. Trump's public response has only complicated matters. In a televised address, he denied the allegations, attacked Republican senators supporting impeachment, and framed the process as a political conspiracy. Analysts quickly noted that his strategy risks alienating the very senators whose votes he needs to avoid conviction. Under Senate rules, conviction requires 67 votes. With Democrats united and 18 Republicans already committed, Trump must prevent further defections. Yet political observers argue that attacking dissenting Republicans may accelerate, rather than halt, the erosion of support. This moment transcends one presidency. It tests whether the United States can still enforce limits on executive power when national security and personal profit collide. The articles have been filed. A Senate trial is expected within weeks, with classified evidence reviewed in secure sessions and witnesses potentially testifying under oath. What happens next will determine not only Donald Trump's fate, but whether impeachment remains a functioning safeguard against presidential abuse or a relic overridden by partisan loyalty. The nation now waits as the constitutional system faces one of its most consequential trials in modern history.